Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a new episode of the Driving the World podcast. This is episode 101, and you've got a familiar face over here, but I'm in the different chair this time. I'm Jared Scott, by the way, and I have with me today Culley, Holland, our previous host of this podcast. Welcome back.
Very good to be here. Yeah. I can see you guys have updated it a little bit. Got some new digs. Very nice. Very fun to be on this side of the table.
Yeah, well, we had to bring a little more shine to it because we don't have your charismatic self in this chair. So,
well, I'm flattered.
Yeah. Well, anyway, let's jump into it. I was thinking about this topic. You and I discussed this before we went on camera, and that is SEW can get the view from customers that we're just too complex.
Right.
And what does that really mean when we hear those words? What do you think customers are really saying?
So I think a lot of it when it comes down to too complex is customers will send us like nomenclature or a type code and expect that's everything they need to get a new gear motor or a new gear unit. And then we always come back and ask for the SO number, or we ask for particular details about a gear unit or a gear motor or a VFD to make sure we're getting them the correct option, what they actually want. And a lot of folks think that we just have motors and gearboxes on the shelf.
Oh, yeah.
And then when they dive into it and they realize each SO number is unique, they start wondering, well, how in the world do we have all these unique SO numbers and unique units? Is every single one different? So they start losing the idea of like, okay, am I just getting a gear motor, or what is this talk of every single one's different? We need all this information. You guys built it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can remember hearing the term when I first came on board that we had 3.1 million different combinations. That's mind-blowing. It's probably a lot more than that now, but let's get that back to ground with what does that really mean? How are we able to accomplish all these, I call them perfect configurations for just what the customer needs?
So how do we get to that 3.1 million plus, right? Because you say that, and now we're starting to understand where the complex idea comes from. That's a ton of options. Well, we get there because we have a modular setup when it comes to assembling our gear units, our gear motors, and our VFDs, to where we're reusing a lot of the same components. So if you're ordering, let's just pull one out of a hat, a KA47 DRN 90M4. All right, so that's going to be a right angle gearbox, bevel, with probably around a 1 horsepower motor on it.
Yep.
If you change one gear inside that gearbox, you're going to be getting an entire new ratio, which is going to give you a new gear unit, a new gear motor, which is going to give you a unique SO number. And every other component is going to be the same as another gear motor that's unique to itself. So we don't have the gearboxes on the shelf. We don't have the motors on the shelf. We build them unique to order, but we're reusing a lot of the same components, which gives us that modular capability to build them in a very timely fashion. And then, like you said, giving the correct or the desired solution to our customer instead of saying, we have these 5 options, live with it. We're going to give them exactly what they're looking for. But that's where all the options come into play. You change one gear, you have a new gearbox. You change a stator for a wiring configuration or a voltage range, you have a new motor. You add a brake. Well, now instead of a motor, we have a brake motor. And all we did was change maybe an end shield, add a brake assembly, and then the rest of the motor and gearbox components are exactly the same.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the modularity and the built to order idea comes in, where we're able to have all the options, but we can still move it through in a pretty reasonable amount of time. And we're not going to be saying, oh, we don't have the parts, or oh, we don't have the stock for that option, because we reuse so many of our components and a lot of the 3.1 plus million available options we have.
Yeah. I couldn't help but think about like a comparison, maybe an analogy is if I was going to choose between having a hamburger that they made like 20 of them and they had them on a chute and they just grabbed the next one, or having one that's made to order, cooked to order, everything the way I like it.
Yep.
I think I'm going to pick the other one, right?
Right.
But here's the problem, is we got all this complexity that we're trying to simplify. And if I'm a customer, I don't know what a lot of this stuff means. So like it's saying, I know what I want to eat, I just don't know where the menu is at or what the items are. Are there any resources that SEW has that helps to explain the menu a little bit better, if you're going to call it that? so they can order what they need or replace what they have? How does that work?
So 100%.
Yeah.
I think the first resource that our customers can use to help themselves, if they want to help themselves and find some answers, is going to be our website. So there's a tab along the top called Online Support. If you're set up as an account, you have an email with us, then you can have access to all of your orders and quotes and information. And even if you don't, you still have access to a lot of information where you could configure your own unit and you can go through and see every single option. Now it's going to be a big menu and you might be a little overwhelmed and you're thinking, I already have a unit, I'm trying to replace it. Well, on our nameplate, we have an SO number. You were doing some comparisons, some metaphors, something like that. We like to think of that as like the VIN number of a car.
Nice.
So our model number is going to be like, hey, you got a Ford F-150. Our SO number is going to tell us that you wanted the custom brown leather seats with the tow package, the V8, 4.8 liter engine,
Sure.
and then the off-road tires. So our catalog number, our nomenclature is going to be like, hey, you have a gearbox, and then our SO number is that VIN number with all the special options or particular options that you wanted. So on online support, we have an SO number lookup. You put in your SO number, and it will automatically tell you everything that's related to that unit. And if you're set up and you're a customer, you can simply add it to your shopping cart. You can automatically reorder that exact unit and know that you're getting what you got for.
That's nice. Now, a lot of times I think about like our customers have a maintenance department or a service department, and they're just like, hey, I want to replace a seal, or I need to know a little bit more about what type of oil this takes. So if I put that SO number in there, is it going to pull up all the documentation that ever existed in the history of SEW, or is it going to help me like by pulling up the stuff related to that particular unit?
So if you're using your SO number, it is that particular unit,
Nice.
that exact unit. It's going to pull up a spare parts list for you.
Oh, wow.
It will pull up a catalog and other documentation you can use for that general maintenance. And then it will also, like I said, you can get a complete new unit. So if you're looking for a seal, you're looking for specific parts or components, or you're looking for some documentation to help you with general maintenance or upkeep, all of that will be attached to that SO number lookup on online support.
Very nice. Now there's a couple other resources I think we also have that help not just text, but we have some visual aids.
Yes. So along with that, let's go back to, let's say, the maintenance tech or an engineer trying to just understand the orientation and general information we're looking at. So we were talking about our nomenclature or type code. It is still pretty useful, especially if you're looking for an overview or a high-arching view of what you have. And we have a sales literature or technical documents area online support. And that's going to have nomenclature posters. It's going to have mounting position posters, oil fill posters. So let's say you ordered a unit and you realized you need to rotate it. Well, it's going to let you know where your breather plug needs to go, where your oil fill plug is now, and how you can change those to where you know how much lubrication needs to go in that gearbox and anything you need to configure or change if you want to simply rotate it without going into the SO number, without having to call somebody. We have posters that can show you those diagrams. And then also the nomenclature will tell you the overview of what kind of gearbox you have, what kind of motor do you have, and some of the general options that have been attached to it.
Very nice. So I love the fact that you don't have to like wait to get information. You can go there directly. But let's be honest, sometimes you do want to speak to a living, breathing human being.
Oh,
so
yes, I mean.
So let's speak to that for a moment, because you're one of those living, breathing human beings that we get to go to if we need help, right?
Yes, I am a living, breathing human being, and I'm very happy to talk with all customers and try and help with any solutions. Because yes, we like to help ourselves. We like to have information at our fingertips. But I know personally it drives me crazy when I try and go online, find some information, and sometimes I'm just not that educated yet. I just don't know where to look or how to find it. And the perfect example I have in my real life recently, I tried to call my HOA and I went through 3 automated messages, pressed 3 numbers, and then it put me to a voicemail and they said they'd call me back.
Oh boy.
FYI, still haven't had a call back. So we want to avoid that at SEW. We have the DSEs, the district sales folks out there, and they are ready and willing to help all of our customers. So we have them across the country. We have multiples in some states, and they have their territories, and they're going to be able to help you with the SO numbers, technical questions, mounting questions, lubrication questions, general SEW questions that you have. So
Okay.
we're going to be hopefully kind of the face of SEW for our customers.
Yeah.
And we have cell phone numbers. You can look us up on the website.
That's right. So I was going to get to that. If I know my zip code, then that's pretty much all I need to get put to the right person, right?
If you have a zip code, you're going to have all the information you need.
Awesome.
So it's going to tell you who your district sales representative is for SEW-EURODRIVE with their email as well as a phone number. So you're going to have direct contact with them, and then it gets even better. We have 5 assembly locations across the country. It's going to let you know which region you're in, and it's going to give you a customer service number as well as possibly some engineering or service contacts that you can reach out to. So let's say your district's sales rep goes to voicemail and they're going to call you back, but they're on the road, they're in a meeting, they're doing something, and you want immediate help. Well, you have other avenues. You can call customer service, you can call engineering, you can start getting those answers you're looking for, talking to real people.
That's awesome. And that's all through the website and online support.
Correct.
So I think I would conclude with this thought. Would you say SEW is complex, or is it that SEW is very capable?
Well, I'm going to have to say that we're capable.
Yes.
So I truly believe that. I think SEW is very capable. And with our built-to-order modularity concept, we're going to be able to give our customers solutions that fit their application. And there might be a slight learning curve, but I think with the resources we've talked about, calling your district sales rep, getting engaged a little with SEW, we can demystify the complexity and let you know, hey, with these 2 pieces of information, we can get you everything you need to know about your gear motor, your VFD, and get you on a path to understanding what you have, what you need, or what you want.
All right. Well, I think that kind of wraps it up. I appreciate you being on the show today. And ultimately at SEW-EURODRIVE, we are all about giving you the clarity, the support that you need in order to keep you running in your particular application. So if you ever feel stuck, that's why we're here with great folks like Culley. So until next time, I'm your host, Jared Scott. We'll see you around.